that they matter, that these other people matter, and what happens to them, it brings light to them to make better decisions. That when they think they're alone, or they made a mistake, or they did something wrong, that it's always okay to pick yourself up and move on. It's always okay to say, I'm going to try something else. They can't be meeting these dead ends that they've been meeting. We have a lot of children in trouble. We have a lot of children on, in drinking early or taking drugs early. We have, pills going around. It's not just adults, it's the kids too. And I see a lot of families not talking to each other. And it's time to talk to each other and bring each other closer. Not just be meeting up at funerals, but actually meeting up together while everybody's living, having fun, doing something, and encouraging each other. And I know it's easy to judge, but it's harder to encourage, but encouragement is going to make a difference in somebody's life. So I'm glad that we are organizing this, and to all the families that experience loss, we're right there with you, experiencing the same thing, because we're all one people. And I like events like this because it shows that, everybody cares. Again, don't ever be afraid to, come up to us or ask us or tell us, what you're feeling, what you need, or what needs aren't being met. What do we need to make a difference in? We're so busy as a council doing government things, but it's all for the people. But we need to hear from the people also. So I'd like to thank everybody again for coming out. Continue to support, not just today, not just wearing your colors today, not just wearing these things, but committing your heart and your actions to making a difference. So thank you.
FRANTZ. FRANTZ. There you are. You need that one?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I decided at some point in my life that I don't like to speak to people that aren't speaking to me. So, and I don't like to address any crowd. That there's no reason for me to get up if everybody's going to keep talking, right? So when I see the councilwoman speaking or any other speaker speaking, I just assume that when I drove 2.5 hours this morning, that when I hear a speaker speaking or I see Ray out there shouting and making noise, I didn't come here to hear a bunch of other people talking around them. I just assume this is an important event. And so when I come out to speak and somebody asks me to speak, I just assume, let's have a quick conversation and let me sit down. Beautiful song, by the way. Yeah, it touched me. So I just want you all to know I want about 5 minutes of your time and I'll sit down. I'm FRANTZ Beasley, and more importantly, I'm the brother of Ray, spiritual brother of Ray. And a lot of people recognize me now because I walked across the country. But I don't want anybody getting caught up in that. I'm a phenomenal athlete, and I'm not trying to brag. I could walk 4,100 miles pretty much in my sleep, just so that you all know. And I probably can't keep up with Bear's son. I probably couldn't. He's younger than me, and he's running across the country right now. And I couldn't keep up even with Seraphine. I had to catch her on my way back. So your little Navajo sister is killing it out there. We were able to have dinner with her on the way back from the journey. But I just want you all to know the reason why I'm here is because I wanted to learn. I wanted to have a journey of learning across the country. Wanted to have a journey of learning across the country, and my partner Nicole and I, we went across the country and found out so much, especially here in Parker, about what Stand Strong Together is doing. Where's that picture of Albert and your picture of your sister? Where are all these pictures at? Because at the end of the day, when we look at Cynthia, may I have that picture? You know, if I could walk 8,200 miles to bring her back, I would. Does that make sense? The reason why we're all here is because real lives are being taken, and your communities are being targeted. That's what I discovered along the way. It's not my community, it's your community. I don't live on a reservation. But what I learned along the way, seeing a million reservations and talking to people across the country and receiving messages every single day, which is what drove me every day to walk 40 miles a day. The reality is that I realized these communities are absolutely being targeted. So when I see these lives being taken, this is what drove me every single day. To realize this life was taken, a mother was taken, a daughter was taken, a sister was taken. When I look at the brother back there, Albert, when I look at all these names, when Raymond's out there leading the charge, which by the way, I'd like you guys to do me one big favor, really give Raymond a round of applause. Yeah. When I walked across the country, you know what I saw across the country? I saw women. I saw Native women that were out there learning to be investigators. They were learning to be lawyers. They had to educate themselves. They had to learn all sorts of things in order to combat this issue, and I saw very few men stepping up. That's what I saw. So when I see Raymond, you're damn right I'm going to come out here every single time when my brother is out here, because you don't see it across the country. In fact, I probably saw 2 other men that actually stood up to actually lead some of these charges and standing there. People would look at me and say, "Hey man, look at the shiny object walking across country," and I'm sitting over here. Don't pay attention to me. Pay attention to the people that are on the front lines of this thing every single day. One thing I'm learning, especially as we're preparing to go to Alaska next, just so that you know, because the learning has to happen and the awareness has to keep going. Do y'all want to talk about numbers? Do y'all know about what's going on even to Alaska Natives? You know, this is not a small thing. All over this country, you all are being attacked. So the reality is, at the end of the day, it takes everybody in this community to stand up and stand strong together. I'm just happy and I feel like I'm blessed just to be able to stand here with you all. But Raymond, anytime you call upon me and Nicole, will be here, and down here in Parker. You look at this as my extended home. Does that make sense? Although I'm not moving here, I'm just letting you know that. But I better have an extra room at one of y'all's houses. But I'm just letting it be known, you guys, that I'm humbled every time I come to one of these, because I realize that there are real faces a part to all of this. There's real stories to all of this. This isn't about Hollywood for some of y'all. For those of you that have actually lost somebody in this battle, in this targeted attack, raise your hands. Raise your hands for those of you. Look at the hands around here. Now you tell me, is this a game or is this something for Hollywood? You tell me if this is about a picnic out here. You ask those families over and over, Raymond, do you miss your sister?
I do.
Yeah, this isn't a game for anybody. When I talked to my sister and she stood there with somebody trying to kill her, trying to take her life when I came through Parker. I'm talking to real survivors of crime out here, and I'm saying to myself, why is anybody laughing right now? Because if somebody was trying to attack my home, I guarantee you peace is the last thing I'm looking for. If you try to take somebody from my life, I guarantee you laughing is the last thing you're going to get from me, until I take away anybody who's trying to hurt my family. So I don't want to laugh, I don't want to play. I want to get active, and I want to stand with people who want to stand strong together and take their communities back. That's what this is all about. Yeah. This isn't playtime. Does that make sense? So the reality is, at the end of the day, I want you all to know, don't ever think that a small group of people can't change the world. In fact, that's normally what does change the world. Does that make sense? It's not the large crowds. It's the people. It's not the people who show up to the party. Raymond, it's the people who stay up after to clean up. Those are the people that change the world. The ones that are working when you're not working. Those are the ones that they never rest. They're always on the grind. Because you know who else is always on the grind, always trying to push? It's the people that want to do harm to your families. Yeah, right now they're working right now. So understand something. While we're walking up the street and shouting, you know, a lot of those folks are looking at you laughing while they're selling your children and selling your sisters. So just remember, this is beyond marching. We work, and we figure out how to do it smarter and be better. Does that make sense? My 5 minutes is up. God bless you.
Well, it's good what I heard from the council this year, so You're a council member. Come on and address it. Amen.
I lost my other colleague, Jamie Moore, so if you see her, tell her I need her. And before we get started, let's just, just bow our heads and Matavir Kadik. Thank you for everyone you've given me, every one of these people that walked with us today, bless them. Everybody who's given something, bless them. Everybody who knows that this problem exists and stands there to combat it. Matavir, bless us. Bless us as we move on today. As we strengthen ourselves to take the roads less traveled. As we strengthen ourselves to fight the dark. Bless us. And with that, let's have some lunch, and then we'll get started on some presentations and some entertainment. But thank you all for being here.
What else we got out there? Just share your heart. It's been my experience, when you share your heart, you're also helping somebody else.
Hello everyone, my name is Kale Drennan, and I actually had this happen to me at school because finals was this week and we had to write an essay, and it was about something that happened to us. And I wrote about this actually. I was trying to see if anyone would notice anything and talk about it, and I wrote about it. Wrote about how this happens and it's real, and people need to bring more awareness to this. And I got a passing grade on it, an 80 out of 90. So I was pretty impressed and happy. And my teacher also told me that I'm glad that someone else is bringing awareness to this sort of stuff. People need to hear it. But I had a classmate in there talking about it too. I told them about what my essay was about, and they said, well, that's not true. That doesn't happen. This never happens. You're just lying about this. But I've lost family members to this sort of stuff, and it's hard. So I told them, this is real. It might not happen to you, but it happens to other people. And whenever someone tells you something like that, it hurts. It really does. Because if you lost someone to this sort of stuff, it really sucks. But moving on is the best thing. And if anyone ever tells you, like, this is fake, this is not real, things never happen like this, it does. And you need to inform people about it. You need to tell people anywhere. If anyone talks about this sort of stuff, you need to tell them that it's real and this sort of stuff happens. And people need to bring more awareness to this. So yeah, just wanted to tell you something like that.
You guys want to